Chepandis, Cheputal Suledukadu, guys. Hope I'm audible and visible to all of you. If I'm audible and visible, do state it in the comment section. And today is 15 December 2025. My name is Shubham Sagar, but I prefer to be called Shubh. This is just too big a name, guys. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm not on Facebook or Instagram. This is my Telegram channel. I will upload this into analysis PDF by 9:30 a.m. Cool. And what else, guys? Just give me a second, guys. Winter has indeed come. Good morning, Harshini. Good morning. So yes, yesterday I gave you people this particular question. Consider the following. What following statements about UNEA? And what is the answer? Cheppandi Cheputalsu Ledu. Kadu. Good morning, Itush. Good morning, any. So what is the answer, guys? What is the answer for this UNEA question? And Cheppandi is fast, so that we can Cheputalsu Ledu Kadu to the next article. Pai lagu, everyone. Pai lagu. So yeah. What is the answer of MCQ 11? It is the highest global decision-making body on environmental matters. It meets under the aegis of UNEP. All UN member states are members of UNEA. Good morning, Rishi Pandey. All UN member states are members of UNEA. So as Harshini stated, all of the statements are correct. All the things we have talked about this UNEA on Saturday. Oh my God. So yes, all the statements are correct. Very good, Harshini. Who is a good girl? Harshini. Rishi has also given the answer. So MCQ 11, C is the answer. Let's come back to the present, guys. And let's talk about today's article without wasting any time. Page 7, opinion GS3. Again, Harshini's favorite, environment is back. Are methane emissions in India being missed? So methane, CH4, rice fields, paddy fields, they are one major source of methane. Rice also release something known as nitrous oxide. These two, CH4 and N2, they're high, like they cause greenhouse emissions, and they're much more potent than CO2. That's what I mean. But these rice fields, they're not the only region where methane emission happens. These regions, landfills are what? You may have seen it. I have seen it in Delhi and all, NCR region, where there is a site where all the waste are being dumped. So this landfill is also one major source of methane emission. So there is something known as anaerobic decomposition of waste, which happens. Anaerobic decomposition in the absence of air. Decomposition happens of this particular waste, and then methane is also released. And as we know, methane is a very potent GHG, so we have to do something about it. That's what this article is talking about. Oh my god. So methane is 84 times more potent than CO2 over 20 years. So again, we have to keep a tab. See, methane, like our honorable PM sir says, आपदा को अवसर में बदलना है. आपदा, convert आपदा to अवसर. He says lots of the stuff in Hindi only. So आपदा to अवसर means convert a particular dire situation into an awesome situation. It's so funny when you convert these things into English. So yeah, आपदा को अवसर. So methane and this whole organic waste, it can be used, and government is already using it in a scheme called Gobardhan scheme. Gobar, biogas. So organic waste can be converted into biogas using Gobardhan scheme. So rather than releasing methane into environment, you can use Gobardhan scheme, which was launched under the aegis of Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin. This Gobardhan scheme launched in 2018. Very good. Good morning, Anandu. So SBM Gramin, Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin works under which ministry, guys? Or it comes under which particular ministry? Cheppandis Cheppudal Sulidu fast. I have told you almost 1000 billion times. Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin comes under which particular ministry? Cool. So methane is a very big threat. Landfills are methane source, we have discussed, where you waste to wealth. Very good, Iltush. So landfills as methane source. Iltush favorite PM is Modi sir. So landfills, methane is produced by decomposing organic waste. You can see all these things. 15% of India's methane emissions come from waste sector. So we have to convert waste to wealth. Jal Shakti, Mahua, Nirahua. Do you like Nirahua Rikshawala, Iltush? So Mahua is for Swachh Bharat Mission Urban. Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin lies under Jal Shakti Ministry, as stated by Harshini. Really good. Let's focus, guys. So where were we? Waste sector offers quick climate gains. Unlike agriculture and energy, waste management can deliver emission reduction because you can track it. Agriculture, how much rice will be grown, or the energy sector, coal emission and all. You have to do it. It's not like people in South India, if I tell them not to eat lemon rice because so much methane emission is happening, it will not happen. In Hyderabad, I was eating rice morning, evening, Snack was also rice only there. So what I'm trying to say is waste management can be done more in a more clearer manner than agriculture and energy. People have to eat food and you have to use coal, thermal power plant. So existing policy, you can see Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin, under that you have Govardhan scheme. So you can convert waste to wealth. Aapda ko afsar mein you can convert. You can do that, as you people were saying. Jal Shakti, NE has also stated. Very good, yeah. So challenges of detecting methane. The problem here is in landfills, you cannot detect how much methane emission is happening. It's all approximate calculation. Here comes into picture something known as satellites. You can take help of satellites. Satellites, look at, there is a landfill. Like we will take some example. There are some landfills in Gujarat. I will just give you some example. So, and then we'll come back to this article. So there are some, like in Ahmedabad, there is a Pirana landfill. It alone emits almost equal to Gujarat's total estimated waste emission. So there are landfills, and these satellites, they can study this. Kanjurmarg landfill in Mumbai emits nearly 10 times the modeled estimate. Delhi, two landfills emit almost as much methane as the entire city's estimated west sector. And how we are knowing these things? Using satellite. But then there are some other issues also. You can use satellite because on ground you're not able to estimate how much methane will be released by which particular landfill. But the problem here is satellite monitoring will be done. These landfills, etc., they're managed by urban local bodies. Urban local bodies, they are the ones who are in charge or who are looking at these landfills. Urban local bodies, they are distinct from pollution control boards. So you have CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board. You have SPCB, State Pollution Control Boards. They're established by which act, guys? We have discussed the CPCB. Established by which act? Anybody? Do you remember? When we talked about NGT, etc., we have solved a UPSC PYQ on CPCB. Central Pollution Control Board. So it comes under which act, or it was established under which act, and the power was extended via which act? So limitation of ground-based monitoring. Physical monitoring requires expensive equipment, blah blah blah. This makes large-scale deployment difficult. And in that scenario, satellite comes into picture. Remote sensing satellite. They will tell you how much methane emission is happening from which particular landfills. Very good. Harshini has given the answer. So the Central Pollution Control Board established via Water Act. Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. The power of CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board, was extended via Air Act of 1981. So remember these things, guys. UPSC has already asked multiple PYQs on these particular points. So they are actually important. Very good, Harshini. Very good, Iltush. So role of satellite technology, you can see two types of data: regional monitoring, high resolution detection. This article is saying that there's a problem here. Landfill, etc. monitoring is done by urban local bodies, but pollution control is the work of CPCB and state pollution control boards, and they work in silos. They are independent of each other. There has to be some coordination if you want to control methane emission, if you want to control landfill expansion, etc. These urban local bodies and pollution control boards, they have to come together. Only then sabka saath sabka vikas will happen. That means everyone will be prospering at the same time. Cool. So again, India's progress using satellite. ISRO scientists use satellite data, blah blah blah, to map anthropogenic methane emission. Major hotspots are Pirana in Ahmedabad, Deonar and Kanjurmarg in Mumbai, and then. So remember, they can even ask you where, like these are places in news. So where is Deonar and Kanjurmarg? My Marathi friends, pardon me for the pronunciation part, and you can do the pronunciation yourself. As somebody says, understand the emotion where I'm going with this. So NGT has formed committees to look into these landfills. NGT, National Green Tribunal, established via NGT Act of 2010, and it's a tribunal and this tribunal has been created. There are Article 323A and 323B. These kind of specific tribunals are created under Article 323B. 323A is for CAT, SAT, etc., etc. So remember these facts. There are so many facts here in this article. So again, major data discrepancy, and you can see all these things. So what this article is saying, on ground, estimation is difficult. So we are using satellite. That is fine. But then satellite will give you information. You have to implement it on the ground, right? So satellite data alone has limits due to clouds and weather. Ground verification can be done. So there is a loop which has to work. Satellite will detect areas. Ground teams of local bodies and Central Pollution Control Board, they will investigate and then they will improve. So three key actions: expand satellite monitoring, establish systematic ground validation, create standardized data sharing system nationwide, and bring local bodies and pollution control boards together on the ground. on the air, or in the space, like satellites will do the work, but on the ground bring urban local bodies and pollution control boards together. That will ensure whatever information you're getting from satellites, that is being implemented on the ground only when these two major entities come together, so to say. Co-benefits: already we are converting waste to wealth, आपदा को अवसर, as Intush was saying. How we are using Gobardhan scheme, via which we are converting organic waste into gobar gas, and via that we are eliminating methane is getting converted to gobar gas rather than being released into the environment. Gobardhan 2018, released under the aegis of Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin. Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin lies under Jal Shakti Ministry. Remember these facts, they are important. So have a look at all the points which is written here. Hope you understood the basic rationale. Read all the other points in your free time. Gobardhan scheme aims to do what, guys? Chepandi. Pailagu. These days, I check copies of my students and then I send them, and then I send them a voice note, and I start with Pailagu because you have to pay respect. Respect is paramount, guys. So I pay respect to my students by saying Pailagu, and then I give the feedback. They're so happy. So Gobardhan scheme aims to do what? As Iltush, Anandu, Harshini, any they have stated, convert organic waste into biogas. Very good. MCQ2: urban local bodies face coordination challenges in methane mitigation, mainly due to why they are facing challenges in methane mitigation. Very good, Rishi. Absence of municipal laws, lack of trained manpower, institutional separation from pollution control boards, absence of international funding. What is the major reason? What is like which is creating issues in methane mitigation? Wow. So Harshini, Rishi, Iltush, all of you have given the answer. Institutional separation from pollution control boards. Very good. PYQ3 UPSC 2022. Among the following crops, which one is the most important anthropogenic source of both methane and nitrous oxide? Really good. Chepandi is fast. So Harshini, Rishi, Iltush, Anandu, and Annie. My best friend Annie. Annie, your so many copies are there with me, Annie. I will send it. Don't worry. Harshini's copies are also there. Harshini, you can send me answers apart from art and culture also. So it's totally fine. So who has given the answer? Iltush, Harshini, Rishi, Anandu, any, they have given the answer. So which is the most important anthropogenic source of both methane and nitrous oxide? Rice is the answer. Very good. So eat less rice. Harshini, you have to eat chapati from today. No more rice. See what you are doing? Harshini and Annie. Why I have targeted Harshini and Annie? They're from South India. South people, they will make one variant after another of rice. So I love them. But that is so good, guys. And the food which people eat in South India, it's so healthy for you. Like in North India, we will eat parathas. Oh my god, so unhealthy. Okay, let's focus. Page number 8, GS1, GS2. Why are OBC list in Bengal being scrutinized? So OBC, NCBC, National Commission for Backward Classes. Earlier it was a statutory body. Now it is a constitutional body under Article 338B. So, and because it has got a constitutional recognition, so some things have changed. What things have changed? We have to talk about that. But before we talk about that, let's have a look at this means handsome personality who is much more handsome than he is the Greek god of Indian politicians. His name is Hansraj Gangaram Ahir sir. In 2018, his image, you see his hat and all, awesome personality. And he is the fulcrum around which this whole topic will revolve. And this is important topic, guys. OBC list, other backward classes, whether Muslim people can be given can be categorized under OBC, or is it confined to Hindu religion, these classification of OBC and SCs? So NCBC, they have recommended excluding 35 communities from West Bengal central OBC list. So just before 2014 election, when India got independence and Modi sir was elected, so just before 2014 elections, what happened was in West Bengal, 37 communities got OBC classification. First of all, their state backward class, they included 37 communities under their state OBC list. State OBC list, state reservation for state related exams and all. And then they also recommended the Central OBC Commission to include them in Central OBC list so that they can get reservation at the central level and other benefits. So 37 communities, out of those 37 communities, 35 communities were Muslim communities. Now there are debates whether you can give OBC status on religion basis or not. And then there are, I started with history, so that's why I sent it. Very good. We'll send other topics from GS paper 1 gradually. Sir, Harshini is such a good girl. Who is a good girl? Harshini. So let's start. So what we were discussing, I forgot. So yes, National Commission of NCBC, they are saying that, and head of that particular NCBC, he will be retiring now, is that person, the Greek god of Indian politicians whom we have just seen. Most of these communities were Muslims. You will see a trend here. We will solve a mains question and multiple prelims question. You will understand everything. So they are saying that no, remove these 35 communities from 37 communities who have gotten this OBC category. They are Muslims and they should not be a part of it. We don't give backward classes reservation on the basis of religion. So recommendation was made and blah blah blah. Political and legal context, these all these things, Vande Mataram discussion and this whole remove these 35 communities, everything is happening just before 2026 West Bengal assembly election. So as somebody says, ab bhavnaon ko samajhiye, you understand why these things are happening. Supreme Court is saying that we are looking into this case whether these 35 communities should be removed from the list or not. 35 communities, 37 communities were given reservation just before 2014 election, means Lok Sabha election. 35 are Muslims. Two non-Muslims, Devanga and Gangot. And all these, almost all these 37 communities, the members are involved in they are manual laborers, rickshaw police, you can see this, barber, tailors, agricultural laborers. Again, that shows you that they are working in the so-called menial occupations, or not that, like, it's not like they're software engineers, this and that. Now, what are the recommendations? What are the reasons which are given for including these 35 communities under, backward class? There were different committees. Sachar Committee, Ranganathan Mishra Committee report. So Sachar Committee 2006, they said that the condition of Muslims in India is worse than SCs and STs. So how they substantiated it, even this is your homework, when you will see how many Muslim people are, SP, DM, or in higher institutions, or graduates, or PhD holders, or even, done 12th and all, you will realize. And based on those data, such a committee said that the condition of Muslim is worse than SC and ST. 2006, Muslim marginalization comparable to SCs, and in some regards worse than SC and STs. Ranganathan Mishra Committee report also said that marginalization has happened of Muslims. Even within Muslims, they face discrimination. Like there are some Muslim groups who are asked to offer namaz separately. So there are these people, they are socially backward, they are educationally backward, they are economically backward, and that's why they should be classified as backward class. So state, again, this is the whole history, guys, we have to understand, and then we will go into the intricacies. So State Commission for Backward Classes, West Bengal. In 2010, they studied 46 communities and they found them socially, educationally, and economically backward. And here they did not, distinct between, they did not separate religion, Hindu, Muslim, etc. They studied communities. And then they were like, these 46 communities added to state OBC list. 20, again, you can see all these things. 2011, they also asked central OBC to include these names. We have just discussed the difference between state OBC and central OBC. State OBC, if you are there in that list, you will get benefits in, the state level exams and all the things which will happen there in educational institutions, state level educational institution. So erstwhile NCBC, headed by Justice M.N. Rao, they recommended 37 communities. Out of those 46, 35 Muslim and 2 Hindus. Final inclusion happened in 2014, just before India got independence and just before the Lok Sabha election. Rationale, we have discussed, socially backward, educationally backward, economically backward, irrespective of whether they are Hindus or Muslims. And even within Muslims, many people believe that there is no segregation, there is no discrimination, everyone is equal, but there is discrimination. There are so many divisions within Muslims also. So Hindu counterparts of some communities were already, again, you can read all these things. And 2 committees, Sachar Committee, Ranganathan, Mishra Committee, they said that in these communities, they are socially backward, educationally backward, economically backward, irrespective of a religion. Then 2022, our Greek god sir, Hansraj Gangaram Ahir, whom we have just seen, he was appointed, and now after that, NCBC started reviewing these things. February 2023, they visited West Bengal, and they are saying that no, there are high number of Muslim communities in OBC list. This is an appeasement policy. Mamta Banerjee wants to get vote from Muslim communities. That's why they are doing this. And this is not only confined to West Bengal. Same thing is happening in Karnataka. We don't like this, and they used it during 2024 Lok Sabha election. And again, so Calcutta High Court judgment 2024. Calcutta High Court was like, yes, this is wrong. We cannot like out of 37, you cannot include 35 Muslim OBC communities. This is wrong. Religion, was the sole criteria in this scenario, not backwardness. They did not adhere to what Sakchar committee or Ranganath Mishra committee was saying regarding socially backward, educationally backward, economic backward. They're saying that no, here religion is the criteria. You are not taking into consideration backwardness. Here you're trying to appease certain communities, and called it an affront to, again, you can read all these things. Judgment affected about, and Calcutta High Court was like, no, these communities will not be there in the list. But then Supreme Court stayed the High Court order, and currently Supreme Court is hearing it. Even though Supreme Court is hearing this case, NCBC is very active. Despite Supreme Court state that they will look into this case, and the current reservation of 35 communities will go on, NCBC is like, no, it has to go on. It has to be means excluded. These communities, they have to be excluded from central OBC list. And now Mr. Ahir, Gangaram Ahir, whom we have just seen, he has completed his tenure in December 2025. Somebody else will come. Maybe the policy will change. Maybe it will not. So again, you can see all these things. There has to be some justification which has to be given by previous NCBC. Why they included these 35 communities? If the current NCBC is saying that it is religiously motivated, backwardness is not the criteria. So earlier NCBC was saying that no, it is not politically motivated, it is not religiously motivated, it is based on the backwardness criteria. And again, you can see all the things. They're saying that, again, you read this thing, Supreme Court current stand, they have stated, and they're listing into this particular case, and they have asked West Bengal to provide data on which basis you have provided, OBC category status to these 35 communities. Give us the social and economic backwardness criteria and the data which you had under representation in public employment. So what will happen now? NCBC, they have given this whole recommendation. It has to be approved by Parliament. When earlier, like when it was just it was not a constitutional body, then executive, let's say NCBC said that include these communities under backward classes. When it was not a constitutional body, just an executive decision was needed to include communities under backward classes. Now it has to be ratified by, or it has to be approved by Parliament, because it has become a constitutional body under Article 338B. Article 338 NCSC, National Commission for Scheduled Caste, Article 338A, if I'm not wrong, that is NCST, and this is 338B. Do check that, guys, whatever I'm saying is correct or not. So again, NCBC advises with blah, blah, blah. You can see all these things. NCBC has sent advice to 8 other states. What are you doing? Why you are giving, SBC category status to people on the basis of religion and not on backwardness? Due to 102nd Constitutional Amendment Act, NCBC gained constitutional status. You can read all these things. Now parliamentary approval is required. Earlier, executive notification was like sufficient when NCBC was not a constitutional body. Do remember this fact also. Via which particular Constitutional Amendment Act NCBC became a constitutional body? That is important. NCSC, NCST, they are already constitutional bodies. NCBC was not. So overall significance, religion versus backwardness. What should be the criteria? Backwardness or religion? Database identification of OBC. If you're giving OBC status, give us the data. Supreme Court is asking for that. Center state tension. West Bengal, some other government is there. BJP is not ruling there. Election is there. Judicial oversight and reservation policy. Why earlier, high courts and Supreme Courts were not active? Why they are active now? What is the reason behind that? We'll talk about it. The judiciary is there in another article today. So now let's solve this question, guys. The debate over inclusion and exclusion from OBC list reflects the tension between social justice and constitutional propriety, discussed in the context of NCBC recommendation to exclude certain communities from West Bengal central OBC list. You can talk about here. You can start with what is NCBC, constituted under which particular article, and got constitutional status from which amendment, blah blah blah. And then you can talk about what is the debate over inclusion and exclusion, how backwardness should be the criteria for including categories under OBC list and not religion, and how 35 out of 37 communities who got reservation or OBC status, they were from Muslim community, which created issue whether the reason for backward, like inclusion was religion or backwardness. So again, rationale behind original inclusion, you can talk about Sachar and Ranganathan Mishra committee. Sachar committee, condition of Muslims worse than SC and ST in India. And then you can talk about role of state, backward commission, blah, blah, blah. Reason for mention article 338 SC and 338 S. Okay, cool. So 338B OBC and 338A very good. That's what we have discussed. So reason for present exclusion, allegation of religion-based classification, that they were included not on the basis of backwardness but on the basis of religion. Calcutta High Court, they struck down. Supreme Court has stated they are currently hearing the case. Asked for, like, from West Bengal government, the data on which they have given reservation or OBC status to these 35 communities, quantifiable data. We have already discussed. These are rickshaw pullers, these are barbers, most of these communities. So yes, they can, like, West Bengal government, if they're serious, they can give these quantifiable data. I don't think that would be a problem. Constitutional and institutional issue, role of NCBC post 102nd Amendment. How earlier anybody could get this OBC status via executive action. Now the process has become lengthy. It has to get parliamentary approval, and only then these, bodies or these different groups will get OBC status. Tension between center and state. Again, you can understand where they are going with this. Political overtones versus constitutional mandate. Religion or backwardness. What should be the criteria for giving OBC reservation? Need for data-driven, transparent, and constitutionally sound identification upholds. Again, you can read all these things. Hope you understood the basic rationale behind this article. Religion should not be the criteria. Backwardness should be the criteria. If within a particular religion also there is too much backwardness, then whether OBC criteria could be given to those people or not, they are having debates on that as well. Okay, it's a tricky issue, and let's see how things unfold. Solve this question, guys. So you have NCBC, you have NCSC, you have NCST, you have articles. So they are basically asking how many of them are correctly matched. Harshini has given the answer. Who's a good girl? Harshini. So yes, NCBC 338B, NCSC 338, NCST 338A. Remember these articles, guys. They are really important. How important? Really important. So C is the answer. Fourth, C. As stated by Harshini, Iltush, Anandu, Rishi, and Aditya. Aditya. MCQ 5. Which of the following committees primarily examined the socio-economic status of Muslims in India? Sachar, Ranganathan Mishra Committee, Mandal Commission, which primarily examined the socio-economic status of Muslims? We have talked about, Harshini has given the answer. So such a committee, yes, condition of Muslim worse than SC and STs. Ranganathan Mishra Committee. Mandal Commission mainly about the backward classes. They're not primarily examining the socio-economic status of Muslims in India. So you will eliminate Mandal Commission and you will get the answer B, 1 and 2 only, as stated by Harshini, Anandu, Iltush and Rishi. Very good, yeah. Like, share and subscribe, guys. Spread the word. If you want to join any of these courses, join it. And you can join the bundle also, take all the courses at once, and then you don't have to pay for hourly, monthly or annual subscriptions. For any queries, send me a WhatsApp message at 9650303257, and you can donate also at the same number if you feel like I'm adding to your knowledge base. Basics editorial GS2. The right moment to boost India Ethiopia ties. Ethiopia. And first of all, tell me, guys, does it border Red Sea? Ethiopia, Red Sea. Does it border Red Sea? So Gurjeet Singh, who is my best friend, one of my best friends, and 5 years my junior, and very good guy. So he is, maybe he's not my junior, maybe I don't know him. But the point is, he was a former ambassador to Ethiopia and African Union. African Union, created in early 2000s. Headquarters is in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. So Ethiopia is a center, it's a fulcrum, not exactly center literally, but it's the fulcrum of Africa, developing fast. India has so much to contribute to Ethiopia. Education sector, the people who are coming from Ethiopia to India for graduation, post graduation, they are in huge number. We are also contributing to their defense and all. So we don't have a sizable diaspora in Ethiopia, but that is increasing. and then investment is also increasing. So things can go be much more, like, better, and we can do a lot more things. But then there are some issues also in Ethiopia related to uh, regulatory hurdles and all, which was there in India also before 1991. So we'll talk about that as well. Addis Ababa, Harshini. No, see, Harshini is such a, has, is not a good girl. Why I'm saying it? Because many people have this confusion that Ethiopia borders Red Sea. Please remember it, guys. It does not have direct access to Red Sea. This is one confusion which most of the people have. Now, this is your homework. Remember, all countries bordering Red Sea. Djibouti, oh my God, Ethiopia get access to Red Sea via Eritrea and Djibouti. So remember these facts; they are important. Even if good students like Harshini is getting it wrong, think about what bad students will be doing. Oh my God. So yes, it does not border Red Sea. Remember, it's landlocked, so to say, Ethiopia. Okay, now it has also become a member of BRICS. How many members are there in BRICS, guys? So there is so much cooperation which is existing, and there is so much scope for improvement in India Ethiopia ties. That's what my best friend is saying in this article. So population of 109 million among Asia's or Africa's fastest growing economies. And again, the headquarter of African Union is there. African Union, 55 states. Morocco was a part of African Union, then it left it, and then it rejoined it. So remember these facts, they are important. And what is the relation between India and Ethiopia? How close we are to each other? So we are very close when it comes to education. When it comes to training them for defense purpose and all, we are very close. Long-term collaboration of Ethiopia is there with IIT Delhi and all. And again, these people for higher education, they come to India, and including the highest number of PhD students from Africa. One of the largest African student groups in India comes from Ethiopia. So education is one forum. Second is defense. Third is investment. Fourth is diaspora. Diaspora presence is small. Indian business presence since 1950s, total in Indian investment $4 billion. But then there are some issues which we are facing right now. What are those issues when it comes to investment? Regulatory hurdles. And see, at taxation measures, regulatory inconsistency, that is what we are facing. Approval delays. That's what happens when you have license Raj, which we had in India before 1991. So this has to be addressed by Ethiopia if they want more investment to come from India. So again, we'll talk about it. Let's go one by one. So again, you can see here, earlier we were investing in agriculture sector. Now we want to invest in gold, minerals, rare earth elements, because we have our own interest there, right? Ethiopia has untapped mineral reserves, and we can tap it for them before China does it. Ethiopia among the first recipient of Indian military assistance. We have discussed two major factors, guys, that you have to keep in mind. One is education, second is defense, and then third is investment, fourth is diaspora. Since 2009, Indian defense team have trained Ethiopian forces, like we help Bhutan. Same way we help Ethiopia. Maybe not exactly same, but yes, we do help them. India as well, plus blah, 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 blah. You can read all these things in your free time. Just remember the keywords. Emerging opportunities, Ethiopia entry into BRICS. Wow, what have you written, Rishi? I asked you people how many countries are there in BRICS, and we know there is so much confusion related to BRICS. BRICS first summit happened in 2009, Yekaterinburg. Which Terinburg? Yekaterinburg in Russia. 2010, South Africa joined. Initially, it was only BRIC, and now it is composed of 11 countries. Oh my God, not 10 but 11. Who is saying it? We have discussed it, and we have seen this site almost 1,000 billion times. This one, BRIC site, and BRICS official site, because it happened in summit happened in Brazil. What they are saying, 11 countries. So even if you Google BRICS, they will say 5 countries, 10 countries, blah blah blah. I have told you the mnemonic. The BRICS is fine: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. After that, the remaining 6 countries, how will you remember it? The mnemonic is IIEEU plus Saudi Arabia. IIEEU. I love you. Na upiriya dipo ina. No. IIEEU. So Iran, Indonesia, Egypt, Ethiopia, and U is UAE plus Saudi Arabia. There is confusion between Ethiopia, like Saudi Arabia and Indonesia. People are like, oh my God, whether Saudi Arabia is a part of it or Indonesia is a part of it or not. If BRICS formal website is saying they are part of it, so they are part of it. But hopefully UPSC will not ask questions on it, because it is very confusing. Even Wikipedia and other sources, so many sources, they have not updated it yet. If you people have anything to comment on BRICS and their 11 countries, do share it. So just remember the mnemonic: IIEEU plus Saudi Arabia. So Iran, Indonesia, Egypt, Ethiopia, and then UAE. So remember, Ethiopia is a member of BRICS now. So we are coming closer and closer. Closer. Baby, pull me closer and in backseat. So again, 2,500 strong Indian diaspora. This is a small number. We have 2,500 people I will be having in my own colony right now. So we need more people, more Indian people to go to Ethiopia. So Rishi, after you clear UPSC, become a foreign service officer in Ethiopia. Again, you can read all these things. Ethiopia can serve as manufacturing and export hub for Indian companies. More investment we can do in Ethiopia, but they have to take care of those regulatory hurdles. Everything is going good. And Modi sir has visited Abiy Ahmed, who is the head of Ethiopia, in G20 Johannesburg summit. And after that, everything is looking so good. And things will be going in an upward trajectory. Fingers crossed. BRICS, Brazil, Russia, blah, blah. Wow, Rishi. Very good. Now let's solve this question, guys. So, African Union. Which of the following statement about African Union is or are correct? Rishi is also a good boy. African Union was established in 2002 as a successor to organ. No, I mean, let's say you don't know certain stuff, but use option elimination to solve these questions. Because who are good boys and girls? You people are. Who else? Oh baby, kiss me closer in the backseat of your Rover. I don't know which song I'm singing, but this is a good song. So African Union establishing two. Now let's say Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Second is correct, right? So if second is correct, you eliminate C, A, B, and D. EU allows India. Now Morocco is a member. We have discussed it. Backtracked and then it became a part of it. You know, sometimes you do that. So yeah, it is currently a member. Fourth is wrong. If fourth is wrong, oh my god! Even if I don't know anything about one, two, and three, if I just know fourth is wrong, I'm getting the answer, guys. Chepandis. Oh my god, we solved it. So Arshini, any Aditya, all is not correct. Aditya, Morocco is currently a member. We have discussed it at the starting. So Aditya Anandu, hope you are understanding why fourth is wrong and the answer is A. Rest all are correct. You can intervene in matter. Genocide and crime against humanity happen a lot in African countries. Does not happen at all in India, especially after 2014 when India entered into Amritkal and we got our independence. MC PYQ 7 guys. UPSC 2014 BRICS revised BRICS. Lynching. I read there was some northeastern state, which was one of the first states in India, which brought a law against lynching, which increased after 2014 because in Amritkal and all. So in Amritkal, lynching happens. So which was that northeastern state, guys? Do revise and do. I have forgotten which that. Like that was the first state in our country which brought a law against lynching. Do revise it and do tell me in the comment section if you know which state that was. That thing, like the whole genocide and crime against humanity, reminded me of lynching. So the answer, no issues, Rishi. You're a good boy. So BRICS, first summit of BRICS, it did not happen in Rio de Janeiro. It happened in Yekaterinburg. Yekaterinburg. So first is wrong. First is wrong. Now you have to answer it based on 2014. So in 2014, South Africa was the last to join the BRICS grouping. Earlier it was BRICS. So B2 only is the answer. Yekaterinburg. Very good, Rishi. Anandu, Annie. Really, very good. Find out which northern state, northeastern state was the first state in our country to bring a law against lynching. Page number 7, Opinion GS3, a people-led climate intelligence movement, written by Supriya and Tabinda Bashir, and Pratim is also there. But Supriya and Tabinda Bashir, they are my good friends. Pratim is also an acquaintance, a colleague. So what they are talking about here, they are talking about something known as MRV system, monitoring, reporting, and verification system, which was brought by the Paris Climate Deal COP21. So what is monitoring and reporting and verification system? Basically, every country, they are sending, after these Paris climate deal, they're sending their INDC, intended nationally determined contribution, which has now become NDC, nationally determined contribution. So somebody has to keep a track of it. India can say we will become a net carbon zero by 2070, and Modi ji is like, and some people like eating mushroom and all. So no, somebody has to keep a track of it, guys. So this is MRV system, monitoring, reporting, and verification system. But it's all very top down approach. Top down approach means central government is saying, we have done everything, we have attained renewable energy 50% of these source, that source. So it's all about central government. It's all about governments, what they're saying, what they're doing. You have to involve community. When you involve communities, then you get better result. Whether whatever we are practicing or whether whatever we are preaching, we are actually practicing it or not. In that regard, Tamil Nadu has done good. Tamil Nadu is always awesome in so many good things. So Tamil Nadu, they have done CBMRV initiative, community-based environmental MRV. You will understand each and everything. Just focus. So here they are involving communities. That, let's say you see in Erode, in Kudalur, in Nilgiris, what is happening, how much things have changed, and based on the community involvement, we have known that in Erode the region, Harshini, pardon me for the pronunciation part, intense rainfall burst has happened. Kudalur inland salinity intrusion is increasing. Nilgiri forest moisture is reducing. So because of the community involvement, MRV thing is working in awesome manner in Tamil Nadu, and rest states and central government, they can learn from Tamil Nadu that just don't do the top-down approach when it comes to monitoring, reporting, and verification. Also, involve communities. Be little decentralized. Not don't concentrate power in your hand always. So again, under the Paris Agreement, countries must track emission adaptation process and climate finance linked to NDCs. Whatever you are preaching, we have to see whether you are actually practicing it or not. So India's position on MRV, we are like, yeah, we are very, very committed to MRV, monitoring, reporting, and verification system, and we are doing everything. But there is a need for decentralized climate finance. And again, there is a limitation of existing MRV system. It's all top down. Current MRV relies on remote sensing, administrative data, external experts. Community generated knowledge is largely excluded, and in that regard you can learn from these communities, what Tamil Nadu is doing, what this CBMRV initiative is doing, and how it has led to us knowing what is happening in Erode, Kudalur, and Nilgiris, Russia. Very good. So again, objective of CBMRB enables village to generate systematic science-ready environmental data. So people of these regions, Erode, Kudalur, and Nilgiris, they are telling the government of that region that, see, these are the problems which are happening. So you have to take care of that, and you have to rectify that at the earliest. Combines traditional ecological knowledge with scientific level. You can read all these things. Hope you understood the basic rationale of this MRV and CBMRV initiative. Community generated data is integrated into a digital dashboard. So now what is happening? As our honorable PM sir says, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas, and 19 more Sabkas. That means you are integrating community data with state level data, which will be further integrated with national data, thereby giving us a comprehensive data, and it will support decision making at village, district, and state level. Oh my god. So climate governance is no longer a top down approach, it will be a mixture of top down and bottom up model. It will support gram panchayat development plans. Maybe via this you will give some funds to gram panchayats and local bodies also, thereby strengthening the local governance in India, which is also needed because they don't have any power, so to say. Scale it. Okay, you can read all these things. So core messages: sharing scientific tools with communities and enabling bottom up governance makes climate action aha and more aha. Read it in your free time. Which of the following is not part of the MRV system under Paris Agreement? Chepandis, Chepandis, Chepandis. Monitoring greenhouse gas emission, reporting on climate finance, verifying emission reduction limits, mandating fossil fuel subsidies. What was the full form of MRV, guys? Don't mix it with MRF. MRF is the cricket bat, which Sachin uses. Sachin, the goat. He is the goat. Rest everyone. Then even Kohli started using. Even Rohit Sharma used MRF for a certain period, but then he changed to C8 tire. So MRF and MRV, they are different. Same, but different. So this is MRV. Who answered it? Harshini, Aditya, Rishi, Iltush. So D guys, monitoring, reporting, and verifying or verification. This is MRV. If you see the full form, monitoring, reporting, and verification. Mandating is not a part of it. They will not tell this has to be done and that has to be done. No, they will monitor greenhouse gas. They will report on climate finance. They will verify emission reduction claims. India will reduce carbon emission by this and that. So we will verify it. So that is the purpose of MRV. Mandating fossil fuel subsidy is not the aim. People, Chepandis, are you understanding why D is the answer and ABC is not the answer? They're asking not, right? Sometimes people don't read the not part. So not, this is not their objective. So Harshini stated it, Aditya stated it, Rishi, Iltush, are you understanding why B is not the answer? MRV, monitoring, reporting, verification. Very good. Next article, editorial. Courts must protect, not regulate free speech. See, when you people will become big enough and you're 18 plus, you will prepare for UPSC, and then you will read about separation of power, SOP, given by Montesquieu. Montesquieu. So separation of power means legislature, executive, and judiciary. They should work in their own domain. Nobody should intrude into other spheres. So US they have strict SOP. Legislature work in their own domain, and executive work in their own domain, judiciary work in their own domain. India has fused SOP. Fused SOP means executive is a part of legislature, judiciary, some of the judges will be impeached by parliament and legislature. So we are all connected, fused SOP. And in sometimes what happens, judiciary will start doing the work of legislature and vice versa, which should not happen. So here court is saying that we will make regulatory body will, sometimes what happens, courts start making laws. I will give you one example. There was one case where court said that beyond 20 meter of this and that of national highway, liquor shops should not be there, or such kind of things. This is a law, guys. This is a law that beyond 20 meters, this and that, this should not happen. Lawmaking is not the work of judiciary. Judiciary is there to check the constitutionality of laws and executive order. Legislature is there to make laws. Parliament, state legislature. So this article is again saying that court is sometimes not understanding. There are terms. Again, when you will be 18 plus, you will read these terms: judicial review, judicial activism, and judicial overreach. Judiciary should understand where they are lying, whether they are lying in judicial review, judicial activism, or judicial overreach. Judicial review is again checking overreach, checking the constitutionality of laws and executive order. Judicial activism is sometimes executive and judiciary, they are not working, executive and legislature, they are not working at their optimum capacity, then somebody else has to do the work for them. That is judicial activism. So judicial review, Shreya Singhal versus Union of India, where they struck down certain provision of IT Act. Judicial activism, Keshwanand Bharti case, where they propounded basic structure. Then they also PIL, public interest litigation. That is also one example of judicial activism. Judicial overreach, national anthem case. Judicial overreach, like these two terms, review and activism, these has positive connotation. Judicial overreaches when judiciary is impinging upon the work of other regions. It has a negative connotation, like national anthem case. In movie theaters, you have to stand up to, sing national anthem before you're watching any movie. Let's say you went there, Rishi went there to watch Sunny Leone movie and this and that. So Rishi went with different intention, but now he's singing national anthem before he's watching Sunny Leone. So all his mood is gone. Whatever the mood with which he went to watch the movie. And this is not the place to show patriotism when you are paying taxes. And we have done all these things. This is not the only way to show patriotism. And means judiciary is not the one to decide where we should national anthem, with due respect to where we should sing national anthem, with due respect to judiciary. And then this whole highway case where liquor should be sold, means sold and not. Again, this is the work of legislature to make laws. So there are certain cases which we will put in the bracket of judicial overreach, where judiciary exceeded their whole thing. This is not their work. Making laws is not their work. Yes, because 142 article. Yes. So now freedom of speech, and again here this article is about freedom of speech. Supreme Court is saying in this Ranveer Ahlabadia versus Union of India. Ranveer Ahlabadia, he is the one who in all his podcast and all, he will talk about meditation. He's a cutie. I don't know. I cannot watch more than 2 minutes of his podcast, with due respect to him. Maybe he's awesome for so many people. Because I feel like nah. So again, so in this Ranveer Ahlawadia versus Union of India case, Supreme Court is saying that no, because these people they said certain stuff, right? There was some latent and this and that happened, and there he said certain stuff which was so stupid. How could you say that? I mean, you shouldn't say these things. Shit. So now in that Supreme Court is saying that no, we need a regulatory body. We need an autonomous regulatory body to regulate these things, so that these people, Ranveer Ahlawadia, and then there is one person from Kashmir who was there in the latent show. Like I like that guy, but you cannot say anything and everything. So ask the government to publish draft guidelines. And again, this article is saying that you are going in the judicial overreach category, guys. Law making is the work of legislature. Let them decide what they have to do to control free speech. Anyway, free speech is not at all free in our country. You have Article 19 Clause 2, guys, which already puts a lot of restrictions on freedom of speech and expression. You have IT Act, Section 67, obscenity, 66, and all 66F. And not only this, in there's this whole thing, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, IT rules. So there is no like there are laws here, there, and everywhere to curb freedom of speech and expression. Why is Supreme Court going 1 point ahead and again telling to create a new autonomous body. This is not done. You already have so many limits, constitutional limits, statutory limits, constitutional limits under Article 19 Clause 2. Kaushal Kishore, Supreme Court held no additional grounds can be added beyond Article 19 Clause 2. So why are you adding now new additional grounds just because of Ranveer Ahlabadia and that Kashmiri guy? I forgot his name. If you know his name, please write it. Vishaka guidelines are also an example of judicial legislation. Very good, Iltush. So, role of Supreme Court as constitutional umpire. Based on constitutional assembly debate, Supreme Court role is to judge reasonableness of restrictions. This is a tongue twister. Not create them. Anyway, there is too much restrictions on freedom of speech and expression. In most of the democracies, they don't do prior censorship. What you are trying to say is, I should think whatever think before what I speak. If I start thinking every minute, like, what should I speak? What will hurt people's sentiments? This and that. This is so wrong. And this is an important point, guys, which this article is talking about. Democracies, they focus on content removal. Ranveer Ahlabadia, he said certain stupid stuff about how you make kids and this and that. And so that should be removed. Prior censorship is not happening in democracies. It happens in dictatorship. It happens in surveillance state, China and Russia. And when we start focusing on prior censorship, which the Supreme Court order is talking about, then we are moving closer to China and Russia rather than moving closer to true democracies or democracies like Australia and UK. Danger. And sometimes when understand one thing, when you people will become big enough, you will realize when judiciary is strong. When is judiciary strong? When legislature, executive, they're weak. Especially executive is weak. If executive is very strong, then judiciary will not be that strong. There can be some exceptions, but not always. So when executive becomes strong, they use judiciary to further their agenda. Democracy sliding into autocracy use courts to justify repression. I am not saying right now our executive is very strong. I believe Modi sir totally believes in separation of power and democracy. I am just saying that in some hypothetical scenario, if your executive become very powerful, they will use judiciary to further their agenda. So maybe this should not be the case. Hope so. Fingers crossed. Oh my God. Fingers crossed. We are not sliding into autocracy and dictatorship, not getting closer to China and Russia in that regard. Judicial overreach and democratic erosion. Again, Landau and Dixon, they're big philosophers and all. So professors, they are saying that, and oh my God, they're saying whatever we have just discussed. Courts can be used by authoritarian regimes for democratic erosion, because when executive becomes powerful, judiciary tends to weaken. We are not saying this is happening in our country. We are a true democracy. Modi hai to mumkin hai. When courts encourage stricter, again you could read all these things, citizens' freedom are seriously threatened, and Supreme Court must exercise constitutional self-restraints. There are already statutory limitations, constitutional limitations of freedom of speech and expression. Anyway, in press freedom index, India tops from bottom. Oh my God, bottom. Anyway, we talk about Godi media and we talk about how people have lost faith in the mainstream media, and they're looking and they're coming to internet to see the stuff, to see the real news. So again, please protect free speech, don't dilute it. Anyway, it's in danger in our country. I'm not saying it. Salman Rushdie said, free speech is the whole thing, the whole ball game. Free speech is life itself. So please, Supreme Court, don't take our life. Let us speak. Anyway, not many people are speaking these days. MCQ 9. Which of the following statement is correct regarding judicial intervention in online content regulation? Chepandi, chepa. Guys, be serious, okay? Don't joke all the time. Today it's so, foggy in Gurgaon, guys. You'll be like, it's pollution. 2 days back it was not that foggy. Pollution is there. Prior censorship. So Aditya, Harshini, they have given the answer, guys. So again, today, let's question. This ninth question is your homework because the articles were dense and I was preparing those articles. So it's a race against time in the morning. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Ninth question is your homework, and we'll discuss it tomorrow. You can join this Telegram channel. I'll share this Hindu analysis period by 9:30 a.m. And you can also join these courses. Please write answers, guys. Doesn't matter whether you're preparing for 26, 27, 28, or 2035. Write answers. And you can join this bundle also. If you have any queries related to any of these courses, send me a WhatsApp message at 9650303257. Join at the earliest. Prices will increase in future. And you are your own competition. You're not competing with anybody else. You can also donate if I'm adding to your knowledge base. Very good. ঠিক আছে? So thank you Harshini, thank you Amy, thank you Rishi, thank you everyone. Bye 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 bye. Thank you Iltush.